Hey, I have a question to ask you. Have you heard the gossip on Hashgraph? Another project to use Hedera Hashgraph, plus some updates from the ecosystem. Asking your questions about Hashgraph. Plus some other updates and content that I thought you might find interesting. So, with all that being said, it's time to start the episode. What is he talking about? And who am I? That's a secret you obviously know. You know you like me. Hashgraph, Hashgraph. Hi everybody. Welcome back to another episode in Weekly Gossip. I'm your host, The Gossip Guy, your trusted source for news and developments from the world powered by Hashgraph. So for this week's episode, I want to start off by introducing you to a new project that has joined the ecosystem, along with providing you updates on some of the other projects currently using Hashgraph. There was also an AMA that took place within the Hedera Hashgraph developers Discord channel that I also wanted to touch upon. And finally, I'll wrap up with some other updates and content that I came across this past week. So let's dive in. Kicking things off, RedSwan, a marketplace for tokenized commercial real estate assets, announced their plans to launch their platform on top of Hedera Hashgraph's public network. Taken from the press release, RedSwan is looking to expand the traditional real estate investor base through the tokenization of real estate assets and by providing a single platform that connects vetted buyers, intermediaries, and sellers in one transparent and reliable network. The company will also work to improve the efficiency and transparency of real estate listings, which are currently limited to a broker capacity. Through a single decentralized marketplace, RedSwan will look to significantly reduce costs and provide improved liquidity and global visibility in the $217 trillion global real estate market. It appears that RedSwan chose Hedera Hashgraph over other public distributed ledgers based on the expected speed and security Hashgraph claims to offer, along with Hedera's governance model that RedSwan's prospective clients require. The project looks to be in the very early stages of development. However, the team behind the platform appears to have extensive experience in real estate and other relevant experiences for their respective roles. Additionally, RedSwan's technology team appears to be led by Venture Aviator, a software development firm that has been active within the Hashgraph developer community already. If you recall, Venture Aviator is also connected with Rightory, a rights management platform that also announced their plans to launch on Hedera Hashgraph. Thus, it's very exciting to hear about another project using Hashgraph. But let's not forget about some of the other projects announced within the Hashgraph ecosystem. First, I wanted to kick off by covering Sagewise, a smart contract dispute resolution platform or safety net planning to use Hedera Hashgraph. And on that note, the Sagewise team came out this past week with an insightful blog post lending some details and specifics regarding their collaboration with Hedera Hashgraph. Though establishing a new partnership, the team emphasized their plans to continue working within the Ethereum ecosystem. However, they also outlined some additional perceived benefits of using Hedera Hashgraph for their platform, which includes compatibility. The Sagewise platform can easily be ported to Hedera Hashgraph as the network will be able to support Solidity smart contracts with no change required. Speed and affordability of services. The Hedera platform promises to be faster and cheaper than the Ethereum network, allowing for Sagewise to leverage these benefits while also using services such as file storage that includes provable deletion. And finally, growth potential. Since Sagewise is a middleware layer to smart contract suppliers, the platform needs to keep up with customer needs. Hedera Hashgraph appears to be becoming an emerging player amongst enterprises, which provides a potentially growing customer base for Sagewise to pursue. This was a really well-written post that outlined the rationale that DApp developers should consider when exploring new DLT solutions such as Hashgraph. Big thanks to the Sagewise team for providing their perspectives on this topic. In addition to Sagewise, I also want to take the time to give you a quick update regarding some of the other projects within the Hashgraph ecosystem. Kicking things off with Winflow briefly announced in their Telegram channel back in early June that their beta is expected to be launched during Q4 2018 and will be fully production ready by Q1 2019, which is also in line with the Hedera Hashgraph mainnet launch. Intiva Health appears to be wrapping up their token offering. Carbon, who I've been in contact with, appears to be working away with the build-out of their product and recently announced a CMO. CryptoTask, unfortunately, couldn't share with me about the details of gaining access to the Hedera Hashgraph testnet. However, they noted, times are certainly exciting. And lastly, Mingo completed their ICO in June and appears to be working now on the Mingo token. As a reminder, you can download the current version of Mingo's app from the Google Play or iOS app stores if you want to check it out. As a fun fact, I've actually been using the Mingo app to help aggregate some of the Gossip Guy related social media messages. As a reminder and qualifier, none of these projects have yet launched their DApps on the Hedera Hashgraph platform. However, they've announced their plans to build on top of the platform, and as I understand it, they've been granted early access to Hedera Hashgraph via the testnet in order to begin developing their DApps. So we'll have to keep a close eye on these developments. Okay, next up, and in case you missed it, the developer community on Discord has recently been very active, all thanks to an Ask Me Anything that was launched a week back by lead developer advocate Ken Anderson. The goal of this initiative appeared to solicit some of the biggest questions the community has related to the Hashgraph consensus algorithm and Hedera Hashgraph platform. Of course, a good portion of these questions appear to focus on the governance model, including the establishment of the Hedera Hashgraph Council. However, amongst these sea of questions, I thought to call out a few questions and responses that I thought to be very insightful. This includes whether the Hashgraph asynchronous Byzantine fault-tolerant proof had been verified, insights into cryptographic security, which, as we understand, was a contributing factor to why Java was chosen as a language of choice for Hashgraph, details about the certification program, which appear to be on the way, and technical controls in place to prevent fork of the codebase. As I mentioned before, there was some obvious questions asked repeatedly throughout this AMA. However, I appreciated community member Craig Drabik's response to all of this. Thought this was an amusing way to wrap up the AMA. The Hedera Hashgraph team has also set up a questions channel within the developers Discord server, and it looks like the team will be gathering up all these questions and compiling them into some sort of FAQ document, which is expected to be released soon. Thus, we'll have to be on the lookout for this once it's released. And now we move on to some other updates and content that I thought to share with you. Starting first with the Hack Summit on July 9th through the 11th that will feature Dr. Lehman Baird, the inventor of Hashgraph. Hack Summit is an entirely virtual conference dedicated to blockchain and will feature presentations by some very prominent individuals within the industry, including Jeb McCaleb, the founder of Stellar and Ripple, and, of course, Fluffy Pony, the lead maintainer for Monero. I wanted to share this as it will be a good opportunity to hear from Lehman, who, as I understand it, has been very busy over the past month working on the technical details related to the build-out of the Hedera Hashgraph platform. For those interested in attending, be sure to use the promo code Hashgraph for a free pass, which the Hedera Hashgraph team recently shared with the community. News outlet and market data provider Brave New Coin had follow-up coverage on Hashgraph, this time providing a comparison to another emerging directed acyclic graph called Nano, which was formerly known as Railblocks. At the core of this article was a comparison of Nano to the Hashgraph consensus algorithm and Hedera Hashgraph platform, which covered network voting, governance and decentralization, along with commentary on DAGs as a whole. I thought this article was slightly weighted in favor of Nano. However, it was insightful to read about how Hashgraph shapes up against other emerging DLT technologies, especially analyzed by third parties such as Brave New Coin. And as governance continues to be a hot topic for Hashgraph and other distributed ledger technologies, I thought to share an article that I recently came across that provided some very interesting perspectives on the topic. Titled, "It's Too Soon for On-Chain Governance," an article circulated on CoinDesk that was written by prominent author Michael J. Casey that took a look at this debated topic. The article primarily focuses on observations taken from the recent launch of the EOS platform and the initial rocky start to Tezos. It also provides some very interesting perspectives on delegated proof of stake. The overall conclusion that I took from this article is that governance for open, public, distributed ledgers is hard and certainly a difficult undertaking. Unfortunately, we're not at a stage yet where the code can self-govern itself without some human intervention. Over the course of reading this article, I couldn't help myself but think about how Hedera Hashgraph needs to consider several of these governance matters, and also we'll have to see how the Hedera Hashgraph Council addresses this. For more insights on this topic, I recommend that you go check out this article, along with everything that we covered on today's episode, all of which I've included in the links in the description down below. So that's it. That's all the gossip that I have for you this week. If you want to continue this gossip, make sure to join us on the Gossip Group's Discord server, where we have already a pretty active community of people following Hashgraph. So we'd love to have you join us. With all this being said, if you found this video to be helpful, be sure to like and let me know what you think by leaving a comment down below. If you haven't done so already, be sure to subscribe and turn on your notifications to stay posted on further gossip coming to the world powered by Hashgraph. This is the Gossip Guy, signing out. Thanks for watching.